Hey, I'm Doug Jackson, founding attorney of the law firm of Douglas G. Jackson. I want to make this quick video as we're approaching the year's end, but really anytime you're watching this, it's good to give you 7 tips and tricks to really kind of escalate your business, make sure that your business is running well, running efficiently, and you're going to maximize what you can do for the next 12 months. So step one, because and again, we like doing this at the end of the year because you're getting things ready in this fourth quarter to really comply with your tax filings. You're working with your CPAs, your bookkeepers, and so it makes sense that you're looking at these things anyway. So tip and trick number one, entity maintenance and compliance. So before you file your taxes, you want to make sure your corporate records are in order. You want to make sure that you actually own your company. We've seen it where you're the registered agent and the spouse who you thought was a secondary member, a partner you thought was a secondary member, is actually the only person who owns it. You want to make sure that your renewals are up to date. You want to make sure that you have your annual filing, that you're going to get that done, because we've seen businesses as well that haven't done these, and they're dissolved and they need to be reinstated. We want to make sure that any kind of partnership agreements, operating agreements, anything is done. It says what you want it to say. Sometimes things change over time, and we forget to update these. And you want to make sure that your minutes and any resolutions are done. So step one. Step two, or tip and trick number two, contract updates before renewal. So a lot of times there's going to be a lot of renewals happening at the beginning of the year. You might discover that if you look at these, some of them are outdated, some of them have terms you don't like. When you're looking at these renewals and these contracts, you want to go over the terms again to make sure that they are making sense. Step three, tax-related structure and ownership changes. So sometimes, a lot of times, you might start off as a pass-through or disregard entity, and then you might want to elect to have S corp taxation. So depending on what your accountant thinks you should do with the tax structure, you might choose to change your corporate type filing. So if you're an LLC, you might actually choose to convert it to an S corp, or if you're a S corp, you might choose to convert to an LLC. Most LLCs, you can actually keep it an LLC and do a S corp election, so you don't actually have to change the structure. But this might be a good time too if you're looking at changing your business structure to do that. Talk to your accountant about it. If you're operating in another state, guess what? You probably need to file in that state too. All right, so we've got tip or trick number four now, employment and HR policy updates. So a- as this is coming in, you might have new contracts. You're probably preparing for the next year. You're thinking, you're projecting, you're thinking about the employees you're going to hire. So you want to make sure that any kind of employment agreement, policies, HR book, whatever, that is up to date. That's a good time to do it right at the beginning of the year. I should say it's a good time to do it at the end of the year so you can roll it out at the beginning of the year. All right. Tip or trick number five, collections and receivables cleanup. So in quarter four, oftentimes we're trying to get money because this is going to make or break really kind of the projections for the year. We want to make sure that we've got a good revenue stream and we've got a good profit for the profit reports for the end of the year for tax purposes, whatever. And so a lot of times, this is the time that you might start to need to collect money. So you may need demand letters, payment agreements, maybe even small claims actions. So that's another thing that you need to think about in terms of your collections and receivables. Number six, we have strategic exit planning. So again, when we're looking at the end of the year, that's the time to start planning for the next year. And you might want to get out of your business. You might want to sell it. Maybe you want to start bringing investors or partners in or start selling to the employees. So it's a good time to start planning for that as well. And step seven is really just overall making sure that you are safe from risk. So you want to make sure your insurance policies are updated. You want to make sure that you're insured for everything you need. You want to make sure that you've got the adequate coverage, and you need to make sure that the coverages, or the policies, I should say, cover you for what you think they do. We've run into situations a lot of times where they make a claim, they realize they weren't covered for what they thought they were going to be covered for, and unfortunately, that means the business owner's paying out of pocket. So if you do these 7 tricks, these 7 tips and tricks before the end of the year, your business is going to run much, much more effectively, and you're going to be able to get the professional help you need because it's before the fact instead of after the fact, which makes it a lot cheaper. So whether it's legal advice, bookkeeping, financial advice, whatever, make sure that you're going to those professionals and you are asking for help because unless your job is financial advice or bookkeeping or accounting or law, you don't make money doing that. Your time costs you money if you're spending it doing something other than what it is that you do. So make sure that it's done well, make sure it's done right. Use professionals, and your job is to create the vision, create the plan, and get the sales for whatever it is you're selling. So have a great end of the fourth quarter, or if you're looking at this another time, a great segment of the year, great end of the quarter, whatever quarter you're in. And over this next 12 months, I wish you just excellent success. Thanks for watching.